Do you have an idol? Someone that you respect and admire? Life can give us guides and mentors to learn from, ranging from parents and relatives to teachers and public figures. But there comes a point when we must strike out on our own and explore the world independently, making our own decisions and assumptions. But what if the people you admire told you to abandon and mistrust them? This is what happens in Friedrich Nietzsche's book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, in the chapter called The Bestowing Virtue. The main character, Zarathustra, tells his followers to stop following him. Open quote, "I now go alone, my disciples. You also now go away, and alone. So will I have it. Truly, I advise you, depart from me, and guard yourselves against Zarathustra. And better still, be ashamed of him. Perhaps he has deceived you." End quote. But why did Zarathustra tell that to his disciples? Let's take a look at the following clip.
So what's this? A real taster's choice moment between guys?
This is really nice. You got a thing for swans? Is this like a fetish? It's something like maybe we need to devote some time to?
Thought about what you said to me the other day about my painting. Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me. I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me?
No.
You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
It's all right. You've never been out of Boston.
Nope.
So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. I know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I ask you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. You may have even been laid a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watch him gasp his last breath looking to you for help. I ask you about love, you'd probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you would know about sleeping sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. I look at you, I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared, shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. You ripped my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? Do you think I'd know the first thing about how hard your life has been? How you feel? Who you are? Because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all that, because you know what? I can't learn anything from you. I can't read in some fucking book. Unless you want to talk about you, who you are. Then I'm fascinated. I'm in. But you don't want to do that, do you, Sport? You're terrified of what you might say. You move, Chief.
Okay, you might ask. What is the purpose of the previous clip with this video? Well, Will is self-taught through books. He has learned a lot through reading, but certain experiences cannot be transmitted through words if we have not experienced them. This is what Sean realizes. The moment a certain conversation pops up, Will references the books he has read, yet he cannot talk about himself. One of the main reasons is that he has not experienced them. I am not saying that reading is wrong. I encourage it. It is actually really good for us, but without experience, we would just be book smart. With experience and knowledge going hand in hand, we become wise. Now imagine reading two books. One that has the basic foundations such as morals, values, etc. And the second one that tells us how to live our lives. The first book lays the primordial foundations for being a great person. The rest is for us to figure out what is best for us, based on that foundation by living and experiencing life through wins and failures. It is allowing us to venture into the unknown, to have the courage and self-trust, even if it's scary. The second book gives us a plan based on someone else's life, which in turn might be the wrong blueprint for our own lives. This book tells us that we need to go to university, get a job, fall in love, move up the ladder, buy a home, have a family, and then retire. But if we study this book and follow the steps, then we will be happy, right? What if our lives don't come along as the book suggests? Would we be happy or sad? That is exactly what Einstein said. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. We are all unique, and our stories are worth telling. We must believe that the path we are on is the right one, even with its highs and lows. Our guiding book, rooted in our primordial foundations, lights the way forward. You had not yet sought yourselves. Then did you find me? So do all believers. Therefore all belief is of so little account. Now, do I bid you lose me and find yourselves? And only when you have all denied me, will I return to you, said Zarathustra. This is why Zarathustra wants his disciples to abandon him, so they can find themselves. The teachings of Zarathustra were in the first book. Now it is for them to experience life through their own eyes. Zarathustra will return once he and his disciples become equals, meaning they all have transcended their limits and finally become the Overman or Superman. I want to say that book number 2 is for us to write. We should not read someone else's book and take it as a life guideline to success or happiness, because we don't even know what they went through to get to a certain point, because we have not lived or experienced it. Instead, we should read it and take it with a grain of salt.